adjust your set. This is our director, Artie Kempner, having a good time, having a little fun. And Colby Bourgeois, our technical director, creating these fine images that are showing you what much of import here.
What could be.
Yeah. Eric Almirola for Richard Petty, 26th. Now, the concrete at Dover, they concreted this track for wear and tear and frost heaves and things, and for the same reason that a lot of the highways in the Northeast and Southeast in the U.S. are concrete. 1995 is when this durable surface was laid down. It makes it the oldest track surface on the Sprint Cup circuit.
Well, that's the nice thing about concrete is it lasts a very, very long time and stays very consistent. Although we have had some instances, not just at Martinsville, some concrete coming up that I'm too familiar with, but also here we've had a few pieces come up over the years that they have to patch.
What do you think? I mean, I never liked concrete. I mean, I loved it when it was asphalt. It's when I had my most success here. How did you like the concrete?
Oh, that was it at that. Huge. I can relate to that, Jamie Mack. Look at the impact on that splitter.
You were pretty good at testing a lot of things. You know, you got people here. You had that one at Martinsville. You could always find the place where there weren't any safer barriers.
You know, the way I always looked at it, when things are good, things are really good. When things are bad, they're really bad. There's no in between. You know, I really do as well like the pavement tracks, the asphalt. But I do remember here they tried to repave this track and it started coming up. And that was before around 2000, 2001, where they really advanced with the polymers and the way that they paved highways as well as racetracks. And they didn't have it quite figured out. We used to really rip it up at a big high-speed, high-bank racetrack like this. We did the same thing at Bristol when they tried to repave there. So a lot of these tracks went to concrete and solved a lot of those issues.
Yep. Let's check with Vince on last week's winner.
Well, how about the role Kyle Busch is on the last 6 races? 3 wins, a couple of runner-up, 5 top 2 finishes the last 6 races. But of course, they're working without their crew chief here at the track this weekend. Adam Stevens serving the 1-race suspension, but he's not far. Look, his picture right there on the box in the garage to always remind him that he's not far away. Via computer, telephone, you know he's still got his hand in the mix. But not being at the racetrack, and this is something Larry Mack can talk to, I'm sure, in the one of the crew chiefs who has dealt with suspension in the past told me yesterday, when you're not at the track, not being able to literally see the car, it really makes a big difference. You can get all the data, but if you can't see the car, you feel like you're blind.
Yeah, and as far as his suspension, as well as the front tire changer for that 18 car, he cannot be anywhere on the premises where his NASCAR hard card gets him. Now, that doesn't mean he can't be in the grandstand, he can't be at the hotel. He can be at those places, but he can't be in the garage area or in the pit area. And again, it was a 1-race suspension, $20,000, as well as that front tire changer, John Leslie, and both are on probation until December the 31st. The other thing NASCAR monitors is Adam Stevens is not supposed to be any radio communication with the 18 team. Now, that doesn't mean they can't be on the cell phone talking to one another, but that's kind of the perimeters. No radio communication and nowhere where his NASCAR hard card allows him to go.
So what NASCAR requires is now 5 lug nuts on at all times to start the race, during the race, and on the last pit stop. But look at that lug nut. It looks different from the other 4. And we heard a lot of teams getting 4 lugs when they were changing tires. Now that is a stock lug nut. It meets all the NASCAR specifications. However, it's filled with a substance, some sort of glue. You can hear 4 off. And there's some sort of tape over it as well.
Helicopter takes it on the outside of it.
So all of that is designed so that that nut goes onto the stud, onto the bullnose, the unthreaded area of the stud, and all that glue holds it in place so that at the end of the race, you count 5 nuts. However, That lug nut did not meet NASCAR's parameter of being installed, and there was intent to get around the rule of having 5 lug nuts.
Yeah, I was told, explain to me that they put that helicopter tape over the nut, and with the glue they used and the tape over the nut, it was like a suction, so that nut would stay on that stud, even at racing speeds. I could not understand how they could just put it up there and it would stay until they explained to me how that was designed to stay on there.
But that tells me that the crew chiefs and pit crew members felt like all that needed to have done was that lug nut needed to be there on the stud when the race was over. You know, to me, they misinterpreted the way that NASCAR wanted this new rule to be implemented.
Yeah, I thought, my understanding was they just had to be on there. Well,
Yeah, I had the pleasure of speaking with Richard Buck on Wednesday before I went on race. He's the series director. And basically what he said, he had to be a little careful because at that point the appeal was still pending. But I think what really hit them the hardest, this was a rule that was asked by the garage area, by the community. We want a lug nut rule. So that's what NASCAR did. And he said the rule says, yes, 5 lug nuts installed in a safe and secure manner, which includes the attempt to hit 5 lug nuts. And that never happened with that 18 car. Plus the other thing, if you look at that lug nut, he said they could penalize a team for parts designed to fail their intended use. And that is a part that was designed to fail the intended use of the lug nut.
And it all seems very clear now.
Well, let's be clear about one other thing. The garage area, except for the Gibbs cars, were the ones that wanted this rule change.
Well, I think a lot of the crew chiefs were worried, and a number of them, even Kevin Harvick's crew chief said, oh, we're going to have a lug nut off somewhere. It's going to be by an accident, but that's going to happen.
That wasn't by accident. Let's turn to the other big story of the week, and Jamie.
Martin Truex Jr. dominated last weekend, but he had a loose wheel issue, and I'll let Larry get into that issue later. But so far this weekend, though, you guys have been just a little loose. Cole was hoping today would go better than yesterday. How's it driving so far?
No better yet. We got some work to do, so just keep working on it. See, we got tires a lot different here. It feels different to me, so I don't know. We've a lot of stuff different with our car this year, obviously, than we did last year. Setup's a bit different, so just got to figure it out, go through some things, try to see if we can find some grip.
How hard is it to try to find that grip without hurting the front, but trying to find the grip in the rear?
It can be difficult here. You just got to have the right combination. We really haven't had any issues with the front turning yet, so just keep going that direction, see if we can find a happy spot.
All right, Martin Truex Jr. at his home track in a brand new race car, Mike.
But Mike, we saw him sideways down there in the middle of 3 and 4. That car is definitely needs some work.
25 and a half to go in this, the first of 2 practice sessions today.